In my opinion, the absolute best case scenario for our community, for boaters, and for what we could expect out of this test deviation would be no Brightline trains at all closing off our waterway to us. But this proposed test schedule, I will say it is fair, and that it's more than what I expected to come forward at this point in time. So here's what they're going to try. Hey everybody, I hope that you all had a great week. I'm here with an update from Washington, D.C. We have a lot to discuss from Afghanistan to Brightline, so let's get into all of it. A few weeks ago, we talked about Secretary of State Antony Blinken's attempt to keep members of the House of Representatives Foreign Affairs Committee, like myself, from reading something known as a dissent cable that was sent by staff at the embassy in Kabul, Afghanistan, shortly before the withdrawal from Afghanistan. No one except for the chair and the ranking member of the Foreign Affairs Committee were allowed to read it. Until now. This week, I was finally able to see the cable with my own eyes. It's still classified, so I had to take a trip over to the State Department, different area of Washington, D.C., read it in what's known as a SCIF, or a secure compartmented information facility. It's a locked room with no windows and no electronics allowed in it, essentially no phones, no cameras, no pen or paper. It also means that I can't talk too much about the contents of the cable, but there are some things that I can paraphrase and tell you a bit about it. Joe Biden should have read it. He should have listened to the experts on the ground. He did not. He was too concerned with a political and optic objective, and it cost 13 service members their lives. There are 13 additional Gold Star family members across the United States of America because of his unwillingness to listen, to read, and to execute national security objectives instead of political objectives. And this was obvious to everybody on the ground in Afghanistan, in the State Department, at the embassy. This is not where this ends. We're going to continue to demand answers, demand accountability to ensure that there is never a foreign policy disaster like this again, where Americans lose their lives, where it was clearly and obviously avoidable. That's what this situation was, completely avoidable. I want to switch gears. I want to talk about some stuff going on locally. We got some big news. After months of waiting and fighting and people in the community writing in and making comments and asking questions and giving their analysis, the United States Coast Guard finally released its proposed test schedule for the St. Lucie River Railroad Bridge. As a quick refresher on this, due to what's known as the Brightline train's expansion and its plan to run upwards of 32 high-speed trains through our community every day, in addition to the 14 to 18 freight trains a day that are run through every single day, the Coast Guard has had to figure out how the bridge should operate in order to accommodate all of those trains and the amount of times that it takes the train bridge to go from open to closed to back open again. And it seemed like they were going to make that decision with absolutely no regard for how boaters in our area would be impacted. Well, the Treasure Coast showed up in full force. You made your opinions very clear. Brightline is not allowed to steamroll our community and close our community off to our own waterway that they're just looking to roll over. 2,358 people shared their perspective with the Coast Guard during that public comment period, and they heard us. In my opinion, the absolute best case scenario for our community, for boaters, and for what we could expect out of this test deviation would be no Brightline trains at all closing off our waterway to us. But this proposed test schedule, I will say it is fair, and that it's more than what I expected to come forward at this point in time. So here's what they're going to try. The bridge will be open for boaters to cross twice an hour at the 15 and 45 minute marks. So let's say 12:15, 12:45, 1:15, 1:45. Both times for 15 minutes. There is some flexibility. If a train is in the queue so close to say that they can't stop the train, it will be allowed to move into that 15-minute time period, but that 15-minute time period would be made up. So it's a situation where there will be a reliable schedule for everybody who relies on access to both sides of the train bridge from the water. They will know at the 15 and at the 45. There will be a new bridge tender present at the bridge at all times, so that if there is an emergency, he or she can manually raise or lower that bridge. There will be a website, an app, and a telephone number maintained with the schedule and any repairs or other events that might impact it. To me, this is a major warning shot to Brightline and to any other organization that comes into the Treasure Coast thinking that it can just destroy our way of life, roll us over, just come through here, hurt everybody that lives there locally, not doing anything for the community itself. We're going to fight. We're going to make sure that the community is listened to, and we're not going to be steamrolled. This process is still far from over. Brightline and Coast Guard are going to test this schedule from June 21 until December. We'll also have another public comment period after that where we can share our opinion on how it's going, how it could be improved. I'm confident that you'll all show up in force once again, and I will be with you in that fight. So until that time, I would make this encouragement to you. If you're a mariner, if you are going across our waterways and you witness something, take a video, take note of it, take a log of it, make note of what you see that's safe or not safe, or if the trains are encroaching into our 15-minute windows and periods of time. If 15 minutes is not enough time, because whenever the 15 minutes is over, there's still another 5, 10, 15 boats that are still waiting to get through, but they're getting cut off because the train bridge is closing again. Take note of what you see. Make sure that we're aware of what you see so that we can bring that to the Coast Guard. As always, it is an honor to serve you. I wish you all the best. You all take care. Hey everyone, thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed the video, please click like and subscribe. I will be back on YouTube with more exclusive content, so stay tuned.